have over and over confirmed that a child's strong development in the first 8 years of life is a foundation for future learning, health, and economic stability. By supporting and investing in early childhood development, we power the future. Today, I am elated to be here with so many other organizations and programs who work in a variety of ways to contribute to the healthy development of children. Some organizations here today work to increase the capacity of child care teachers and providers. Some organizations work directly with families and communities to provide resources and services that are beneficial to children. And some organizations are advocates, advocating for policies that will benefit our children and their families. At Mela, we value the work of each and every organization represented here today. Today is about celebrating all the amazing work that is being done. So I just want to take a moment to stand here and applaud the work of all these wonderful organizations. We know that it will take all of us to ensure that every child has access to the environment, resources, and services needed to thrive. We cannot do it alone or in isolation. We must work together, and we must continue to engage others to support and be involved in our work. At Mela, we believe that the most impactful change happens for children when we work together with state leaders, practitioners, and communities and families. Today is about continuing to form and nurture the relationships that are the foundation for true collaboration. Following me at the podium, you will hear from a state leader and a parent and community leader who will each talk about their support for early childhood development in the state. We are fortunate to be joined by Senator Bryce Wiggins, who was instrumental in passing the Early Learning Collaborative Act in 2013, and who continues to be an early childhood champion in our legislature. We are also honored to hear from Latasha Hadley, a parent and early education leader, who will speak about why our work in early childhood development is so important. All of our program participants will be available for comments after the press conference. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I am so excited to see so many early childhood professionals here today. My name is Dr. Latasha Hadley, and I'm a proud early childhood leader and parent in this great state of Mississippi. I have worked in early childhood education for over 10 years now, and I'm a proud parent. I've had the opportunity to work with children, parents, teachers, and directors from different early learning settings. These experiences have shaped my perspective as a parent and as an early childhood professional. As early childhood professionals, we already know how important it is to educate young children and provide opportunities for parent engagement. We live this every single day. A child's early years are the foundation for future development, providing a strong base for lifelong learning, which includes cognitive and social development. It's essentially the building block for student success. We've made great progress in the field of early childhood, but we still have work to do in order to create real change for children and families in this state. The future of work depends on everyone here today working close together in order to provide quality learning experiences and quality resources that enhance learning outcomes for all children, regardless of their early learning setting. One common goal that we all share is that we support the learning and development of children. We accomplish this by working together to build early childhood networks that includes parents, educators, practitioners, organizations, and communities from all areas. This would allow us to share goals that can lead to the development of common tools, resources, policies, and a better understanding of best practices. As a parent, it is very important for me to be involved in my child's education. Being able to communicate with my child's teacher helped me stay abreast of what is expected of him. Building a positive relationship with his teachers have also helped me assist him academically and his academic success, all started by providing him with the opportunity to attend a high-quality early childhood facility. I echo Angela today, that this is a celebration of all the work that is being done every single day in all the classrooms across this great state. Then let's today, by making a commitment to enhancing collaboration and partnerships across the state in order to move Mississippi forward in providing children and families with access to a quality education and resources. Thank you again for all the work that each of you do each and every day. We make a difference in the lives of children and families, and if we keep this as our main focus, we can all do great things in this great state for children and families of Mississippi.
Thank you. I appreciate Angela and her mentioning the Early Learning Collaborative. Back in 2013, led by myself on the Senate side and Representative Toby Barker at the time on the House side, we put forward the Early Learning Collaborative legislation. At the time, in the state of Mississippi, we were one of only 10 states to have no support for early education. Since, with the leadership of then Lieutenant Governor Reeves, now Governor Reeves, and Philip Gunn on the House, in a bipartisan show of support, we passed that Collaborative Act. 5 years later, literally, Mississippi is ranked top 5 in the country in early education. Because of these people back here. Back then, the early education community, from my perspective, was split and in different silos, if you will. What you're seeing here today is the coming together of early education advocates, parents, teachers, business leaders, community folks supporting early education and speaking with that voice. I stand before you and I am extremely proud of where we have headed with the collaboratives. With the leadership of Lieutenant Governor Hoseman and Governor Reeves recently, we've talked about seeing the collaboratives to go bigger and better, as we say. Also, we must continue the momentum that we have gained. One of the secret sauces of the Early Learning Collaborative is the benchmarks that were written into the legislation as put forth by the National Institute of Early Education Research. And in continuing to build on the quality, NEAR has released 2 additional standards. We have to keep up with that. The data is out there. The data is telling us that children who graduate or gone through the Early Learning Collaboratives are scoring higher than children anywhere else in the state of Mississippi at the same age. Now, early education, and this is part of the reason why I launched into supporting the Early Learning Collaboratives, was not only because of my background with Excel by 5 in Pascagoula, which I was the founding chairman, and Excel by 5 is part of this group here. But many of you know my background with prosecution. As an assistant DA, I got tired of seeing children behind bars and not having the foundation and the education to complete school. And you know the statistics. They have determined prison beds by the results that they see in 3rd and 4th grade. Okay, early education is the foundation, and as my role as Judiciary B Chairman this year, this term, which I think I think Lieutenant Governor Hoseman, we're getting used to that. It continues to be an interest that I have, because if we can get the foundation for the children, then we don't have to be up here talking about costs for prisons and incarceration and things like that. And let me say this, that law would not have passed without the support of our corporations and businesses in the state of Mississippi, because they understand an educated workforce is what's going to locate businesses and keep businesses here. They want to know that we are investing in education. And speaking of that, one of the highlights of that legislation was the public-private partnership that we've created. And to that point, over the last 5 years, we have seen literally over $2.5 million of private dollars flowing in to education, early education. And that is extremely, extremely important, because in a state with limited resources, having the public-private partnership is how we're going to move forward. So it is my pleasure to be here today to stand before you and support this coalition of early education advocates, entities, businesses, parents, teachers. And speaking of teachers, let me say this. I've served on the education committee for the last 2 terms. I've talked to teachers in my district and other places. If you go around and you talk to teachers, the number one thing that they say can create a better education in this state is getting children into high quality early education. It makes their job easier. So yes, we can talk about money and we can do it, but the reality is it's getting these children into high quality early education and making the jobs of our teachers better. They want to teach. They want the children to succeed. They all want the children to not be in prisons. They want them to be successful members of society, having good jobs and being in Mississippi. And to a person, they've all told me that early education, high quality early education is the way to go. So thank you for being here. Please support this group, and we look forward to making the collaboratives in particular, but early education as a whole, a hallmark of policy in the state. And we look forward to being not only top 5, but being number 1 in the country in early education. Thank you. Let me say, we're going to have Senator Jordan address you. Senator Jordan has been a member of the Senate Education Committee, and I can tell you from working in the committee and working with him, he is a stalwart of supporter of education in the state. Senator Jordan.
Thank you very much. I know I've been on the Education Committee 27 years, and I taught 33 years. So therefore, I may be 100 years old. But let me tell you this, education does work. And the only way that we can rid our state of poverty is through education, one of the essential ways. So it does work, and I'm working with authored bills, the character education bill for public schools, and I voted for every bill that will support public education. After teaching for 33 years, of course, I was in chemistry, but I still understand, as my dad used to say, if you don't raise any pigs, there won't be any hogs. I'm not saying calling anybody those names, but we start with the home, the church, and the schools. And we're going to push for and raise, move our teachers who deal with these situations up to the Southeast average. So work with us, and we love you, and we're going to do all we can to make Mississippi an oasis by educating our young people. We're going to put the resources there. Thank you. May God bless you.
This concludes our press conference. Thank everyone for joining us, and our speakers will be available for further comments.